9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, I'm Tim Robinson, Editor-in-Chief of Aerospace at the Royal Aeronautical Society, and it's a special episode of Aerospace NOTAM because I'm delighted to be joined by our brand new RAeS President, Professor Malcolm Macdonald.
Good morning.
Welcome, Malcolm.
Thank you.
Congratulations on becoming our new President. I mean, literally, what? How many minutes ago?
Yeah, about 44 minutes ago.
44 minutes ago. So it can't be kind of newer than that.
Yeah.
Very glad to get Malcolm's time. He's going to have a busy year ahead of him.
Yeah.
But we thought we'd introduce you all to Malcolm and just get to know him a bit. So you are a space scientist, space academic. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What does your day job involve?
Yeah, so I work at the University of Strathclyde. I'm in the electrical engineering department. So I'm space technology, space engineering, that sort of thing. The centre that I work within is signal and image processing. So a lot of how we use space here on the ground, but then also using that understanding to think about what technology we want to deploy into space as well. So really thinking about that whole system of systems approach to it.
Okay, and really, sort of Scotland is a major. I mean, sort of a space hub. Most people don't kind of think of this, do they? I mean, there's more satellites built in Glasgow than anywhere else in Europe.
Yeah, and not just from that. I mean, 2014, the university working with Clyde Space and a number of partners across Scotland. That was the first Scottish satellite was launched in 2014.
Wow.
And then a decade later, we're building more satellites than anywhere else in Europe. And it's all down to that transition of new space, smaller satellites, standardisation, a lot of commercial activity. So it's really grown up very quickly over that period.
And not just satellites, is it? Because this year we're maybe hoping, fingers crossed, for a launch from Scotland as well.
Yeah, so second half of this year, hopefully, we'll see at least one launch from Shetland, potentially a few.
Okay, and also it says in your bio here you were responsible for putting a red nose into space.
Yes.
So a red nose, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that was working with Radio Scotland for comet relief. Got a phone call from them about 2 weeks before the show. Kind of saying, well, could we put a red nose in space? And I thought, well, can't put it in space, but so we put it up in a helium balloon, so it went up to about 30 kilometres altitude with GoPro cameras and put it all together in the space of 2 weeks. We did one, we worked with a local primary school and they did one as well, and then we went and recovered them. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Brilliant. Okay, so if we can put a bit of RAeS merch or memorabilia into space, that you're the person to talk to.
Yeah, well, this medal was up on the space station with Tim Peake for 6 months, so it's got there ahead of me.
Okay, brilliant. What got you interested in space in the first place? What was the spark that inspired you?
So I don't think there was one key spark for me. It was kind of a process of looking at what I wanted to study at university, thinking about aerospace, that looks really interesting, aircraft fascinating, then getting to university and realising that aerospace was this really broad thing, with lots of different areas within it, getting the opportunity to work on some space technology, and particularly astrodynamics. Finding that interesting, the maths interesting, understanding it, and then that kind of evolved into the opportunity to do a PhD. And then from there, I've really just followed what was interesting. And I've been lucky, I've got lots of really interesting opportunities put in front of me, and I've had the chance to take them and just follow what was interesting, and that's led me to sitting here today.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So the Aeronautical Society, it's not just for obviously for people involved in aviation, terrestrial aviation, but space professionals as well. When did you join the RAeS, and when did you become aware of it, and what made you join the society in the first place?
So right, again, it goes back to being at university, doing aerospace engineering at University of Glasgow, and joined as a student member and have stayed a member ever since.
Okay, brilliant. And what made you stand for president?
Again, it wasn't a plan. I saw the opportunity to join council and thought that looked interesting. So I put my name forward for council, was lucky enough to get elected onto there. And then the call comes round for nominations for president, and I thought, well, yeah, that also looks interesting. I'll put my name forward. There were a number of other people standing, and again, I was fortunate enough to be elected for this year.
Brilliant, okay. And for non-RAeS members who might be watching this, listening to this, so our president elected, it's a volunteer position for a year. What does the role involve?
Yeah, so as president-elect, you're kind of shadowing the president for a year, and then you've got a year as president, and really you're there to represent the society, but more so to represent our members. And to provide a voice through into council and to what the society is working on. So I really would encourage anybody who's watching this, if there's something they are, if they're struggling to engage because something's not quite working for them, then get in touch with me and let me know what that is. And we'll try and make it easier, because the society is its membership.
Yeah.
And without making it easy for people to engage, then the society isn't everything it could be. So really, if there's something I can do for people, then just get in touch with me.
Brilliant. Okay. And what every president has has their themes for this year. What are your presidential themes?
Yeah. So working in the space sector, space over the last kind of decade or so has transformed as a sector. Underpins a huge range of different parts of the economy now, but also national security, critical national infrastructure. But as the sector transforms, there's a need to think about how do we assure that capability, because it's so dependent for our way of life on the space sector. So that is the focus for my presidential year, is assured space. How do we assure the capability we've got, both in terms of the data, the services, the supply chain, but also the people as well? How do we ensure we've got the correct supply of people coming through into the sector? We retain those capabilities and we can assure the outcomes that we need as a society from the space sector.
So it's all about kind of resilience, isn't it? I mean, I think that there's some sort of staggering numbers there about what would happen if you lost GPS for just one day.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you turn off something as simple as GPS or the space sector for a day, the instantaneous impact is very similar to the financial crisis in 2008.
Wow.
So it's a huge impact on the GDP, not just of the UK, but the whole of Europe and North America. So we are really dependent upon the space sector. So it's making sure that we've got that assured capability so that we can be confident of continuity in those services.
And for anyone interested in this subject, and it is a highly important subject, we've got a Space Assurance Conference happening in September. That's your presidential conference. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's on that theme and looking at how do we develop it, how does the UK and other European countries as well, how do we develop our space capability, but also how do we work collaboratively to do that with partners, and also recognising that the phrase assured is quite well understood in the defence sector, but how do we learn from that in the civil side?
Right.
But also, how can the defence side of the sector learn from the civil and take advantage of the scale of the civil sector? So how do we make that idea of dual use be more bi-directional as well? How do we assure the supply of people? How do we ensure the role of the academic sector within the space sector as well? And how do we take that systems of systems approach to developing the capability? And how do we move on from what's been quite a dynamic period within kind of the governance of the sector, the UK government, lots of strategies, lots of reorganisation. Let's move on to a period of actually delivering what needs to be done now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a very exciting time at the moment for spaceflight, isn't it, all around the world. What tips would you give for any of our young members, students, maybe who are watching this, listening to this, and are looking to break into the space industry?
I think the key thing for me is do what's interesting to you. If you find, space is incredibly broad. It's incredibly, it's a huge range of things, everything from HR to marketing to media to a whole range of engineering and software and materials. And so find the thing that's interesting for you, follow that, because there will be opportunities to do that in the space sector. So do the thing that's interesting and then just keep an eye out for the opportunities, because they are there. And I think the sector is moving on from when it's quite early stage, there's a bit of, you've got to know the right people to get into it, but we're beyond that now. There's a shortage of people in the space sector, so we're crying out for people to get in. So the opportunities are there, and they're going to be there for decades to come.
And also, I suppose, get involved with the Royal Aeronautical Society, go to your local branches, come to our conference, etc. And if you're interested in space, this is your year with our new president. What are you most looking forward to in your presidential year?
I think getting out and meeting people.
Yeah.
Meeting our members and learning stuff as well. Recognise, I work in academia, so you're always aware of how little you actually know about what's going on. So going out, talking to people, and finding out about what's happening and learning from their experience and trying to bring that back into the council, into the society, and hopefully making what we do a little bit better.
And will you be at the Farnborough Air Show in July?
Yes, I'll be at Farnborough. Looking forward to that. I've never actually been to the Farnborough Air Show.
Wow, okay.
Looking forward to getting there and experiencing that as well, yeah.
Excellent. And you've also been, even before you were president, you were on TV recently to be the expert commentator about Artemis too. That was pretty exciting already, sort of seeing you there on TV. But what was your favourite bit of the mission? Have you a favourite bit of the mission?
Yeah, I think the point I was making on TV and on radio talking about Artemis is the fact that, it is hugely exciting that people are up there. It's a fantastic achievement, but sometimes it felt like NASA were kind of overplaying the science value of it. Human spaceflight is really interesting, really challenging, but if you want to do science, you almost don't want the people there because they create a whole world of problems having them there. They're really fragile, they've got to be kept at the right temperature and pressure, you've got to feed and water them. So I think kind of, for me, the takeaway from Artemis was just how excited the media got about it and how fantastic human spaceflight can be for getting everybody engaged in the space sector and understanding that space is so much more than just those people on the spacecraft. There's a whole sector that goes behind making that happen.
Yeah, they did an amazing job there in communicating the human element of it and kind of reaching people's hearts, moon joy I suppose you just don't get with a robot.
No. Having the people up there, it gives that jeopardy, and we saw it as well when the astronauts were, stuck on the space station for all that time. Again, people got quite engaged with that storyline.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the pod now, but finally, a fun question: Do you have a favourite science fiction or space film?
So, I'm going to only slightly answer your question. So, film, I'm not sure. But I am working with a TV show coming out probably next year called Sutherland, which is set in Scotland and in space. Wow. So it's a sci-fi space drama set in Scotland and space, coming out next year on the BBC. And clearly I've been involved in it, so therefore it is going to be fantastic. So therefore that is my favourite sci-fi TV show.
Wow. Well, this is a bit of a scoop then, folks. A sci-fi show about Scotland in space.
Set in Sutherland in the north of Scotland.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, set your iPlayers for that, folks, because that's going to sound like it's going to be excellent. Amazing. Look, we're running out of time now. Many thanks for your time coming to talk to us. Congratulations again on becoming president. I think we say we're all looking forward to working with you, supporting you as our president in the coming years, as staff, and also from our members and fellows. Do say hello to Malcolm over the next 12 months, and like I say, if you've got any gripes or comments or feedback, do come to Malcolm. His door is open. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.